Awesome. All right. Good morning. Good morning again. Hope you all had a peaceful weekend, I hope. All right. Now we're going to walk through this through the entire exam journey right now from registering to studying to take the test. And then we're also going to have an awesome and alumni panel show up. Then you can pick their brains about the state exam. Okay. Let's see. Not sharing my screen. Put this down. I got a couple videos as well. So let's rock and roll. All right, here we are. So, how do you feel about taking the state exam? Right? If you were able to get through navigating through CAPS experience, then you already have the necessary foundation for sure. You're more prepared than I believe you realize. So hopefully to normalize like your nerves and highlight some successful strategies that we've also, shared this in the past with um, cohorts, in the past that are going to share and they were very successful. We still have that 98.2% passing rate, Carlos. He's my statistics
Correct.
partner. Well, so is Helen's and numbers too. So today, right? We're going to talk about understanding the exam content, right? We're going to talk about the registration process, which a lot of you have done already, application fee, accommodations, which we've already gone through that, the approval process, what to expect in person and online, study techniques and study strategies, resources for you, and where to locate your certificate. And then we're going to talk about renewing required every 2 years for your CEUs with CEUs, excuse me. All right. So we talked about understanding the state exam. So Cal Mesa is going to test you on the 17 core competencies. These are all the trainings that we've had, all the presentations. You're going to have 120 multiple choice questions, okay? And you have 2.5 hours to take the exam. All right. I can't see anyone flying solo.
Oh,
There we are. Okay. I was like, all right. So these are, if you notice the list of these 17 right here, these are all the classes that you took. Okay. So they're going to break those down into 8 dimensions. And we talked about the blueprint. Okay. So again, 120 multiple choice, and you have 2.5 hours. Okay. So we talked about breaking these 17 broken up into 18 dimensions right here. And this is the examination blueprint, which you all have. Okay. And we break down, we said, and it gives you the percentage of each one. And that's how the test is going to be graded on each percentage in each category. So we already went through this process by now. We should all have created our account. Right? Step 1, create. So hopefully you all did this. Again, Georgie reached out to you, Helen, Carlos, or I, to make sure that your name on your certification matches your ID. That's why I know she asked you all for that. All right, accommodations. I know we already probably we went through this already, but in the future, anyone else, or if you're helping someone else register for the state exam, we do have an accommodations right here. And these are a checklist. These are a comfort aid list. This is what you can bring in with you that you do not need to have a doctor's signature for accommodations. Okay. Okay, we went through the application process. We all did this, correct? Most of us? Okay, cool. Now, later today, after graduation, we're all going to meet in breakout rooms with each other. We're going to put the payment in with the prepaid code that Georgie's going to give us and upload your certificate of completion. Okay. So this is where this is going to be the step in the process where we're going to be uploading that code. Okay. And then once you do that, once approved, right, that first code, once they approve you, they're going to send you an email again asking for an exam fee of $150. So that's going to need a second code. Okay. And that's when you're going to reach out to Georgie, right? And request that second code, giving a screenshot or forwarding that email to Georgie with the receipt that you're approved for the exam fee. Is that clear? And then it could take up to 14 days, but hopefully we get this sooner because we're all taking it online, which I believe. You're going to get an approval letter that's going to look like this. Okay. So sometimes like I'll freak out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what happened, but in order to take the exam and you're approved to take the exam, you will receive an email just like this with an ID to Pearson VUE to schedule your exam. We good? Okay. And this is all going to be in a handout and we're going to meet with you after. So we're golden. All right. So here's a video on what to expect in person. Most of you are going to be taking it online, but Carlos, Helen, should we go through this one anyway? Since, what do you think? Y'all want to see it, watch it anyway, for the in-person one, if we're taking it online?
Well, raise your hand if you're going to take it in person.
Okay, so let's just review it. Yeah, it's not too long. All right. Let me know if you can hear it.
So that you can perform at your best, here's an idea of what to expect when taking an exam at a Pearson VUE Test Center. There are security and admissions procedures to complete before testing. Your confirmation email will inform you how early to arrive for your appointment. The test administrator will confirm your appointment and exam. You will be asked to read and agree to the testing rules. Then we will check your identification. Many programs require 2 forms of ID. For example, a passport, driver's license, or credit card. Requirements vary, so be sure to check with your program for specific ID requirements. Next, the test administrator will ask you to sign your name on a digital signature pad and compare it to the signature on your ID. Depending on the exam you are taking, you may be asked to scan your palm. The scanner uses a near-infrared light source similar to a TV remote to scan the veins in your palm. The information is converted to a digital template and used to prevent anyone from testing under your identity. The process is simple, accurate, and eliminates many of the privacy concerns associated with other biometrics. Next, we'll take your photo. All personal data, including your photo, are securely transmitted and stored with your test results. The next step is to store all your belongings in a locker or other secure area. Items like a watch, wallet, purse, phone, other smart devices, or any other personal effects are not allowed in the testing room. The proctor will check for personal items each time you enter the testing room. You'll be asked to pull back your hair to show there are no electronic devices present, lift your tie or hood to show that nothing is concealed, and roll up your sleeves. We'll request that you turn out your pockets, run your hands around your waistline and down your legs. Lastly, you will remove your glasses and place them on a desk for visual inspection. Once you've completed the admissions process, you'll be given an erasable noteboard and escorted to your workstation in the testing room. When your exam launches, you will be monitored by the proctor and audio or video recorded. When you reach a scheduled break, if one is included in your exam, or if you need to take an unscheduled break, simply raise your hand and the proctor will assist you. You will need to show your ID or repeat the palm vein scan each time you leave and return to the testing room. When your exam is complete, raise your hand and the proctor will escort you out of the testing room. Depending on which exam you take, you may receive your score report when you exit. Once you retrieve your personal items from the secured area, your testing experience is complete. Should you need accommodations, visit your program's page on pearsonvue.com and click on Accommodations. There you'll find the details of when and how to request a modification. All of us at Pearson VUE wish you a smooth and successful testing experience.
Devin, I know you love that video. I could totally see you digging it.
I was floored. The palm scan was a little crazy.
Oh yeah, just in case someone else comes with another hand, you have another person's hand in there wanting to move the mouse
was
for
dying
you.
a little bit.
But dude, they shake you down like that totally. I don't. It's yeah. So just that's how it rolls. They really do pat you down and stuff like that. Okay, so here's a video, and I'm excited. This is the first one I found to what to expect online. So
Interested in taking your exam at home or work? OnView's the answer. This video will walk you through some important steps to make sure you have a successful online testing experience. Scheduling an online exam is similar to scheduling other exams with Pearson VUE. When it's time to check in for your exam, go to your exam program's homepage on pearsonvue.com and log in to your account. Navigate to your test and choose Begin Exam. You may begin the check-in process up to 30 minutes prior to your appointment. If the Begin Exam button is not there, hold tight. You're too early. Download the OnView software. Double-click and run the software to begin the check-in process. Follow the prompts through the simple self-check-in process. You'll first perform a systems check to make sure your computer is ready. Next, you'll be asked to take your selfie and photos of your ID. Make sure you clear notes and study materials from your workspace and snap photos of your room. Remember to follow the rules of the exam. No one can enter the room while you are testing, and you are not permitted to leave your workspace unless your exam has a scheduled break. Be sure to disconnect additional monitors and close any open applications on your computer. Follow the instructions if you need assistance. Once your ID and photos are reviewed, the check-in process is complete, and your exam will begin. We aim to launch your exam within 15 minutes of your appointment. If you experience a longer delay, there may be an issue with your photos, and the proctor will contact you via chat or your mobile phone. During the exam, you will be monitored through your webcam and microphone. If you have questions along the way, feel free to use the chat icon at the top of your screen to contact the proctor. Thanks for learning about OnView Online Proctoring. Good luck on your exam.
Really quick. When you're in there and you have it, you get to take a 10-minute break in the middle somewhere. You can choose to take that break or choose not to. But do me a favor, please don't get up and just take off. We had a student that did that. We paid for the exam and the exam application, and it was considered a no-show. Okay, so we can't, yeah, she totally just got up and went outside, didn't ask, so please don't do that. It's happened. Okay, so if you are going to take it in person, what's going to happen is you're going to get that, that email that says, okay, you're approved. What you'll do is you'll put in your email, your address, and what it'll show you the location sites near you that you could, that'll work best, and then you schedule through that. Okay. Am I sharing?
No.
I didn't think so. Shoot. Hold on. I was
Sorry.
like, wait a minute, I didn't hear anybody for a second. That's happened. So all's good. I kind of sensed it. All right, hold on. Shoot, where did my expand my bar? There we are. That's funny. All right, so it's going to look like this, okay? So you'll put your zip code in and it'll pop up these local testing sites, okay? And these testing sites, they also have other people testing, like they have LVN testing or real estate license. They have all different sorts of testings, okay? Testing sites. All right, here's rescheduling. Call this number online. You could reschedule up to an hour before the exam, in person up to 48 hours before, okay? And these are the steps. And like I said, if you don't show up, right, you'll lose the exam fee if you're a no-show. All right. And then we talked about this handy dandy exam prep. This is everything you're going to need, everything exam for the state exam. All right. Helpful tips. Stay consistent with your little study schedule. Right? Review your material. Go to the portal, look at those, read those articles, rewatch the videos, study with your cohort partners, right? We've had cohorts in the past have gotten together and made study groups. Just a daily kind of just review, maybe look at the blueprint, exam blueprint, look at that, maybe the examination practice questions, right? And we have a lot of other resources available for you. All right, test anxiety, right? Let's try to mentally prepare ourselves. We all have that test anxiety. It's actually healthy. that healthy anxiety, sort of. But we've done some mindful breathing, during the classes. You've learned some techniques with that, right? Just prepare, try to visualize calm, relaxation, chunking. Sorry if I have a typo there, right? Using study methods is chunking, active recall, devices like flashcards. Anyone use Quizlet before? That also is helpful. Reach out to us, Carlos, Helen, or I. We could throw some questions at you. I love doing that. Like, hey, someone said she used, I think, Chat GPT. I don't know if that, but there's a lot of studying that she did with that. I mean, she killed it. And that was someone, by the way, took the exam, what, Carlos, 5 times?
5 times.
She was older. She took it 5 times and took CAPS, and this was going to be her 6th attempt. She crushed it, baby. Woohoo! She said Chat GPT was her. Yes, Devin, is that your hand I see in the back, or is that someone else's hand back there?
That is my hand. I have a question
Yes, please do.
about retesting in the event that you don't pass it the first time. Is there a time window and a limit to how many times you can?
There's 3, I think 3 times in a year, Carlos. There's no, but you could retake that as soon as you can, but you have to pay the $150 fee
Each time? Okay.
After that first. But we're not going to have that problem, right? I feel it.
Renee, if I may.
Yes, please do jump in.
I think it's important at times when you hear CAPS has a historical 98% passage rate and you're hearing all these things. There's so many factors that come into play, right? If for some whatever reason you don't pass it that first time, it's not the end all, right? Like Renee just said, you have 2 more shots. Please communicate with us. We all know you're in a tight window, and this is why I'm going to echo what Renee said, like support one another through that. A lot of this is really kind of keeping it fresh. So we're hopeful that since your window is kind of like February 13th and you all kind of have this idea, that it will help you as well. But yeah, let us know. Anxiety, stress is real. I sweat a lot when I take tests. So if you're experiencing that, it's all good.
But you always have that extra shirt in your car, huh? I know some, we call him 3-shirt Tony, because he's always changing it 3 times at least. Just kidding. So just get enough sleep, drink some water, have some food, snacks, all that good jazz. Don't drink too much coffee like Helen. You see Helen and I, we are on too much coffee, right? Here's another thing. I think I'll give you a little tip that worked for me. I had to take my state exam. It was 400 questions, and I had 6 hours for my my licensed psych tech exam. And before I went in there, because they have cameras on you and everything, right? I mean, they pat me down. They took my button off my overalls. They looked at everything, right? Strip me down. Anyway, so I was like, okay, this works for me. Anyone heard of the Superman pose? Hi, Carlos. Yeah. So I'm like telling him, I'm like, listen, you're going to see me do something weird in there. I'm going to be standing up. Okay. But I'm just relaxing and doing a little meditation. Right. So what did I do? I get in there and it really works actually. Right. And you stand there, your hands on your hips, like you're on top of the building. Just feel the breeze in your cape. Just right. You stand there for at least a minute, 2 minutes, and really feel your power from the ground up like a superhero. And that's really going to transfer and give you that energy to take your exam. Just an idea. Another quick tip and Carlos and Helen, please feel free to jump in if you have any of your own. Sorry, I'm all excited. Mine is I like to study with essential oils. Okay, so I like to smell, not patchouli, sandalwood. So every time I would study, I'd smell a little bit of sandalwood, do a little 20-minute study here, there. So before my state exam, I whipped out my essential, little bit of sandalwood, and all that information just goes, whoosh. Just think of when you smell something and automatically you smell mama's food, right? So think of it kind of like that. Just a tip and an idea. Carlos, Helen, do you have anything? Maybe you want to add in there?
Well, my big thing is I'm big on sleep. So once it's close to time, it's time to stop and just be yourself. You've been well trained, you've had this training, you've studied, so I'd say stopping. Also, I do a take on what Renee does. I do starfish pose, which is, you can't see because I have a small, but
The whole
you know, you like make a human X and you stand that way for 2 minutes. Same thing as Superman. So if you're in the ocean, you're a starfish. If you're a superhero, you're Superman. But
yeah.
I think, I can't emphasize enough that you're very well trained for this. Okay, so the big thing is to relax and just, go with your gut. And remember PICS, person-centered, inclusive, collaborative, strengths-based. That's the
Right on.
lens you do everything, and then you can figure it out. So you're good.
Right on. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Carlos, please feel free to
I-
jump in here because I love
oh,
that you
I
this is
was
your
I
like
was laughing
this is
laughing
your
at myself.
expertise. No, go
No,
for it.
no, I don't do the Superman pose or the starfish pose.
Come.
I just do the splits. No, just kidding. I get stuck there when
And
I'm
he
taking
can
the
do the
exam.
splints. He has. He told us. Sorry.
But no, I think a little laughter is important and just kind of just trusting yourself. So for example, for me, I know I'm a morning person, so I took the exam in the morning. Some people are more afternoon, schedule it in the afternoon, right? Get that blood pumping, whatever you need to do. And then, one thing that I didn't even think about that I'm just gonna kind of drop in here was, Carrie and the team, Renee was like, so how are you gonna celebrate when you're done? We're so
Yeah.
task oriented, right? Like, oh, check, and I got to go to do this, got to do work. So mine was simple. I took the bus back home and I bought myself a burrito and I love that. That was my
Oh,
celebration. So sometimes that helps, like, hey, I'm going to enjoy this burrito and it's going to be good because
I
it's going to
love
be
it.
done. So something that helps. Anyway.
I love it too. Oh, okay. So before my exam as well, like, because we're just so like, I went out and saw a concert. I went to a concert the night before and stayed out really late. I got some sleep, but I did go see some music and I didn't like, you know what I mean? I just kind of let it all go. And for me, that worked. But yes, do something good for yourself. And if you don't, by any chance, someone doesn't pass the exam, totally okay. We could do it again, right? And what's cool about it is if you take it a second time, you're going to kick ass even more because you already know, right? So how do we learn by, we learn by making mistakes or, taking it that second time. It'll just make you just checking that. Okay, right on. And I love your name, by the way. Thank you. Carlos and Helen, join in anytime. Okay, multiple choice. And Carlos, because you're, Carlos is an educator, right? This is his field, his expertise. So please feel free. This is like the teacher teaching thing, but read the directions, right? Read the directions and don't add to the question. Don't take away from the question. Answer it exactly like it is. Okay. And I love it. I'm going to have you two chime in after me because we all have 3 different perspectives, read it careful. I'm a lazy reader. I admit it. I will scan. And I got to not do that. And what's cool about it is you have that 2.5 hours, but you also have the option to flag them. So don't, you could flag, if I'm spending way too much time reading it, flag it, I go on to the next. You flag it, go on to the next. You could keep sifting through, going back, so don't waste too much time. That's where I said the mark for review. Stay focused. Like I said, don't read too much in, too much out. Helen, Carlos, you have anything on that one?
Actually, I'm curious, like in the chat, if you all like, how are y'all feeling about the exam right now? If you just put a word or two in there, I'm like, because I know we're talking at you, but I think it's important to know like real talk. And Luna, yeah, comida mexicana, got me excited already. So Adrian's excited. Remember, it can be a combination things. Alandra's working on those muscles.
Strong.
Thank you, Ariel. Nervous. Text anxiety is a real thing. Yeah. So if you're in this roller coaster, yeah, of course, make pupusas. I had some yesterday as well. So once again, notice that there's like a range here, and this is important too. You can be both, more than one thing can be true simultaneously. I think that's what's important, right? As you're getting through this there, it's a matter of really just checking in with your body, right? Breathing is really, really important. And so as you're doing that, you can't take anything in. And by the way, the other thing I wanted to mention, like, it's not like you're going into a dungeon or anything, but in peer support, we talk a lot about the gray. This exam is very black and white, right? You cannot give them any reason of why they think you'd be cheating. And so you can't take anything in there. But what I did is I used my phalanges. If I needed to center myself, I just start just touching the tips of my fingers because then I can focus and I don't need anything. And I did this a few times to slow myself down. So whatever you can do to center yourself. And then I appreciate the honesty too, right? The mixture of this. So now we have some more feedback. Awesome. All right.
Thank you, Carlos. I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
Helen, anything there?
Yeah, so this is a little for me, but I'll share it because it can apply to everyone. For me, no second guessing. The best way I take a test is to breathe, think it through, take time the first time, like do it right the first time. Now, that's not to say that suddenly you'll think, you know, oh yeah, here's one of those words. So let me relook at it again. But don't say, oh, I don't know if I know that, or is that what we talked about in class? None of that. Like turn off the noise. And also I would say watch for some of the words. Like if it's advise or you do this, then that's the red flag that that's not collaborative, right? So really use picks. It really helps. And that's what I'd say.
Oh, I love it. Yes, picks. Like they have that whiteboard in there right away. Like we've heard that too, Carlos and Helen, that it helps when they, right when you get that whiteboard, write picks on the board so you can see it and it's right next to you. Okay. There we go. Process of elimination. The beware of the myths, right? How many say they believe, right? Isn't that the whole thing? Choose C. It's your best bet. Remember, there's not going to be, and there will be no all of the above or none of the above. Okay, it's going to be either A, B, C, or D. Make sure to answer all the questions. Don't leave any. You have a better chance of guessing. Right. All right. Remember, we're going to do the acronym. Is it person-centered? Is it inclusive? Is it collaborative? Is it strength-based? All right. And Carlos, I think we might have to do a breakout room because we've got
you covered. I got you covered, DJ Renee.
But Carlos, because this is so fast, but you all are so on top of it, and because this is a cohort, you all taking it online, and we're going to do this together. But oh, hi Ariel. Ariel, sorry, I just saw you pop up. But yeah, so usually I love how Carlos usually does this. He'll add some breakout rooms, and again, I admire Carlos. Thank you. Let's do some practice stuff. So work your magic, Carlos. How could I?
Got it. All right. What I would suggest actually is you all take this time and you should have the CalMesa test prep guide. That's what definitely you should use as looking through that. And so it's one of those links and start going through questions together. So you have 15 minutes now to prep. There'll be 3 of you in there. And then if you don't have that handy dandy, I don't know, Renee, if you have it available, I was going to put it in the chat.
What was that?
Well.
The picks?
The CalMesa, the test prep guide, the 2024.
I'm going to put it in right now. Just
Perfect.
the questions. Okay. It's going to just be the questions. So.
Awesome. Right. So after Renee does that, make sure that you download it and then we'll send you into breakout rooms for some time to prep.
Awesome. Sorry, y'all. Thought I had it on me. There we go. All right. All right. See if that opens up for you.
Okay, cool.
I like that we have it on one document,
Yeah, agreed.
We're not flipping through that damn thing. Oh, Quinn, hello. I see some cameras turned on, so I'm like, ah.
I just put it in the chat, Renee, the test prep guide as a whole. I'm not sure if you have another one.
Oh, I do. I'll put the blueprint too as well if you want.
Okay. You want to do it now before they go into breakout rooms?
Yes.
Because they won't have access to it.
I'll put it all right here. Okay.
Okay.
And it's also in the student portal as well.
Exactly. And so let's stop the recording here.
So how was that, everyone? How was that? Okay, cool. All right, we have 10 minutes. Actually, you know what, Carlos? It's 9:50. We're going to have an alumni panel at 10.
We can take our break till 10
Okay.
and then come back
Any-
at 10 and then we'll introduce our panel.
Okay.
How does that
So
sound?
any questions so far right now? You're all pretty good? Quinn?
I was a little confused on the first one because we were kind of like discussing it, but I feel like the wording of it was just a little confusing to me. So I know we
Number
went,
one.
yeah, we went over similar situations in class. So I was trying to go based off of that, but I feel like I was just a little confused on the best way to go about it.
Number one, a consumer expresses that they want to give the peer support specialist a gift to show their appreciation. Okay. Remember Guyton saying in boundaries that most likely your policy at where you're working says a $10, or they'll give you an amount, right? But for the state exam, it's no, don't accept it.
Okay. See, that's where I was confused on. So it would be the like say thank you but politely decline.
Exactly. For the state exam.
Okay. Thank you.
That help?
Yeah.
All right. All right, everyone. Well, anyone else? What's up? Jesse's in the house. Jesse Castro, what's up? All right, let's do this. Let's take a 10-minute break. Let's come back and we're going to have a rocking alumni panel here. And yeah, you do you, Miss Luna.